Can I be heard? Are you sure, man?
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. They should share the link too. I think you need to bring this thing down. This thing is too up. Sorry, we are trying to fix up. All right. Are we there? Are we ready? All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm super excited to be here once again to have this amazing session with you. Um, while we wait for people to join us, I would like to thank everyone that joined us for the last 2 weeks around Nobillions Corner Weekly, that was held by Mrs. Happiness Uhegu, our operations manager. I would like to thank all of you that joined the last 2 weeks, and also I would like to apologize for not making it happen last week, Thursday, due to some unforeseen circumstances that came up. So we were not able to hold our cherished Billions Corner Weekly last week, Thursday. And I felt so bad about that. The company and I are deeply sorry for not making that happen. And that is why I made sure that today, by all means, we are going to come to you with value and, of course, bring you back to your feet as to um, rare knowledge you need to run in the real estate marketplace as a real estate consultant. Having said that, I would like to start by saying that I'm glad to have you join us. I'm glad to have you as a team member. I'm glad to have you as someone who is willing to lend their way up, right? Great. So remember that you're a business person. Okay, before I say my name is Mr. Eze Maximus, actually. I'm the managing director of the Win Retail Limited, and I'm a sales trainer and an investment advisor, and also an investor myself. Great. So I would like to recalibrate our mind before I dive into our topic for today. Number one is this: you are a business person, you are a business owner as a real estate consultant. Always understand that and always live at that place of consciousness that you are a business owner. You are running a business just by identifying as a real estate consultant. So if before now you didn't see yourself as a business owner, this is a call to remembrance or reminder that you are one. And how do I know that? Number one is because you work with your own terms. Of course, you work with your own terms. Nobody charges you as to how you go about your daily business. So you're in total control about the outcome of your business. So that's how a business person runs. Number two, you dictate how much you take home monthly, weekly, daily. So that is actually who an entrepreneur is. So if you have not been seeing yourself as a business person before today, this is a call to reminder that you're a business person, right? Number two, a real estate consultant is someone who has condemned him or herself to lifetime learning, right? A real estate consultant is someone who has condemned himself to lifetime learning. I'm trying to remind us of what. All right, all right, all right. Once again, sorry about that brief interruption. Our power NEPA came in between us actually. So sorry about that. Honestly, very sorry about that. So just let's just give people, 2 more minutes to join us before we can continue the training tonight. We're deeply sorry for the brief interruption in service. I'm so sorry. The company is so sorry. It was not intentional. NEPA came in between, and it is what it is. We are deeply sorry. We are deeply sorry. All right. So while we wait for others to join us, I would like to recap. So I said that a real estate consultant is a business person. Number two, he or she has been condemned to lifetime learning. Number three, um, a real estate consultant is someone who is innovative, somebody who has chosen to be innovative, somebody who has chosen to, do what they the other 90 or 99% of the human population are not willing to do. It means that you're willing to push yourself further than many other people on the planet that don't want to do so. So you are just this kind of person, and you have to come to that point where you have, conditioned your mind, where you have accepted that responsibility that this is who you are and this is who you have become or you are becoming. Hope that makes sense. So, back to our training tonight, we are looking at a very sensitive topic, which is deal making, negotiation, right? Um, Many salespeople, many real estate consultants don't even understand what deal making is, what negotiation truly is, because they are not really trained or they have not trained themselves. And I will have to say something here. In as much as yes, we are training you rigorously like this every week. We train you twice a week. Still, it's not enough for the journey you are embarking or you're already on. Getting training twice a week, very short trainings like this twice a week is not enough for the kind of journey you have decided to embark on. So you need to understand that also, right? So the 2 times a week is not enough. You need to, you know, imbibe the personal culture of training yourself by yourself, by enrolling into courses, by enrolling into seminars, by asking questions, by seeking mentorship. These are I mean, I would have mentioned this earlier. These are some of the intentional ways a real estate consultant will begin to prime him or herself for what is ahead of them. Honestly, the journey is not a smooth one, but the only thing that smoothens it out is actually the knowledge you are willing to acquire and how much you are willing to apply it on the go. And like I always tell people, the knowledge you acquire that you're not using, you're not better off than the person who doesn't know. The only way you can be able to, gain unfair advantage in the marketplace is if you learn something and the next minute you are applying it, right? You don't store knowledge, you use knowledge. So many realtors don't even understand that they're in the business of deal making. So I always say realtors are in the business of building relationships, fine. But also, you know, you are in the business of deal making. So what relaxing wholly on the concept of building relationship, you know, helps you achieve is that it gives you the um, the feeling that you have a lot of time on your hand to build this relationship, and that way you are going to be, spending a lot of time on a particular prospect, and of which if you already have the mindset that you are in the business of cutting deals, you will now be a little bit more persuaded, you will a little bit more hastened to be able to cut this deal as quickly as possible. So you are now going with a double pronged approach. So you are building relationship, and as you're building the relationship, you are also subtly cutting deal along the way. And that way, you are going to shorten the lifespan or the time in between um, establishing a contact with the prospect to the point where the prospect sends you his or her money, or the prospect says totally not buying. And mind you, so you need to understand this. So like I was saying, we're in the business of building relationship doesn't, negate or doesn't cancel out the fact that we are also in the business of cutting deals daily. In fact, if there's any day you don't cut deals, you should be flogging yourself that day because you are not really productive. Many of us don't even know that we have been cutting deals all along. So when you call a prospect over the phone and the prospect is telling you, um, can something be done about this price? Can I get a concession? Okay. Can this happen for me? Can this happen for me? These are deals you are cutting. And there's a kind of mindset a deal maker has to imbibe so that you don't be at the losing side of the deal. Yeah, so you need to understand that before you enter into a deal, you must enter into that deal with the concept that you are not going there to lose, rather you're going there to win off. Beautiful. So I'm trying to explain what we are trying to teach tonight. So deal making simply means negotiation. It simply means you are going to go and negotiate your way out of a particular position in a business transaction. That's what deal making is. So every business thrives on deal making. In fact, any business you're doing that you're not cutting deals, then that business is not a very profitable business. Yeah, it's not a high value business. Maybe we are selling just chin chin and co. But if you are in a business of selling high value deals or high ticket product like real estate, you are constantly exposed to cutting deals. You are constantly exposed to scenarios where you need to negotiate yourself out. I believe everybody listening to me tonight have in one way or the other negotiated something out of something, especially in this real estate business. So I wouldn't want to dwell so much in it. So one thing you need to also understand is that you are selling a high ticket product, right? High value deal is what you're selling. And a high value deal simply means a deal that has high number on the ticket, has high number on the check. The transfer is actually some big numbers in naira or dollars. That is actually what a high value deal or high ticket product is. And you should also know that it's relative. So because a value has a lot of numbers on it doesn't mean that it is a high value deal. For example, if you are trying to sell a product that costs, let's say, 10 million naira, and at the end of the day, what comes into your pocket is 20,000 naira or 10,000 naira, it's not a high value deal. It is actually a low ticket, a low value deal for you, but for your prospect or your client, it's a high value deal because they paid premium for it. But for you selling, it is not a high value deal. In fact, it's a low ticket deal. right? So it's relative. So you need to define it your own way, right? Same way, somebody who is selling a product of 200,000, and at the end of that transaction, he's going home with 150,000 as his own gain. That's primarily a high value deal. So you need to define, you need to understand this concept, right? Another kind of high value deal is probably a deal that you are entering that is not necessarily tied to the amount you are going to get. It's going to open doors for you to more people. So that is actually another kind of high value deal. So a deal that's going to open you up to more opportunities, more deals from other people. That avenue is also tagged high value deal. So I'm trying to explain what high value or high ticket deals simply sorry is. Right. Having stated that, number one way to actually enter into a very into it, number one way to put yourself in a position where you win over a negotiation is, number one, you need to be research compliant. You need to prioritize research. You need to prioritize research. As a business person you are, freestyling is not for you. Freestyling is for people who are doing TikTok videos, all those white dudes in TikTok who always do freestyle videos. Those guys have mad rhymes, you know. So those are the people that freestyling is for. For you in business, you are forbidden to freestyle. Freestyle simply means you wake up in the morning, you didn't do any research of any sort, you head into the street or into the marketplace and you begin to talk without proper research, sorry, without proper product knowledge, without researching your prospect, without any of those, that is actually freestyling. Sorry, I have a cough attack, so I have cough attack. Sorry about that. So it's gonna be a little bit itchy going forward. So, like I was saying, as a real estate consultant, freestyling is forbidden for you. As a business person, freestyling is forbidden for you. Freestyling is for people who are on TikTok doing freestyle trends. It's not for you, right? So you need to be research compliant. Remember, we are in business to sell to make money. We have a life to cater for. We have families to feed. We have nice cars to ride. We have vacations to take on. So these things doesn't happen to those who are living life. Sorry, let me grab the water, please. Sorry about. Let me just take up some water. This water is cold. So freestyling is for people who are not serious with their business. Period. If you must thrive in business, if you must thrive as a real estate consultant, you must be someone who is research compliant. Number one, you research your product. Number two, you research the prospect. Yeah, so you need to be research compliant. Number three, you research industry standards currently going on in your business. So remember, you are in the business to be profitable. You're not in business to while away your time. In fact, you're not even in the business to be busy. Being busy is not a sign that you are doing business. It's not a sign. So you are in the business to make profit, so you must research very well. In fact, the only people who are allowed to freestyle in business are those who have mastered their fundamentals. Yes, those who have mastered their fundamentals, those who have over the years mastered their onions on a particular business model, those are the people who are allowed to a certain extent to freestyle. So when you're starting out, you know, you're going to be doing a lot of reading, a lot of note taking, and journaling and everything. That is if you're still doing it. I do it all the time. So anywhere I am, I'm writing down, I'm taking up lessons, I'm applying them, I'm trying to revert back to my note. That's what I always tell you guys. When you take notes, it's important. You go back to your notebooks, to your journals to recalibrate and remind yourself of what you have already learned so that you can apply properly. So when you're starting out, you are forbidden not to freestyle. Right? You are forbidden not to freestyle. I'm trying to be slow because of my throat. Sorry. So you are forbidden not to freestyle. The only people who are allowed to freestyle are those who have mastered their fundamentals. And mastering your fundamentals, like I always tell people, there is no blueprint to it. You can master your fundamentals in 3 months. You can master your fundamental in 10 years. It's all dependent on you. How willing are you willing to apply yourself? How much are you willing to apply yourself in the business of sales you're doing, right? How are you willing to expose yourself to as many transactions, to as many negotiations as possible within the shortest period of time? How willing are you to do as many reach out as possible? That will put you in positions where you will begin to have a lot of negotiations and deal making here and there. Yeah. So that is what shortens your timeline for mastering your fundamentals. So if you are not exposing yourself to such scenarios because of probably your approach, your lackadaisical approach or your weak foot approach, then you might not necessarily be able to acclimatize in the shortest period of time. You're going to spend a whole lot of time doing guesswork, and at the end of the day, you might burn out and leave the system, and the system is still profitable, whether you like it or not. So that is it. So you must be someone who's willing to research, right? So I say one of the fastest way to prepare and research before going into a negotiation is to extract, especially for those of us who are doing, who are in the business of selling a product like real estate. So the only way you can be able to know how to cut the best deal on the table is to extract as much information as you can from your prospect by asking the why question. Why do you want to buy real estate now? Yeah. What is your motivating factor? What are your plans for the property you want to buy? Ask official page. This roundtable Billions Corner Weekly. It's crazy, honestly. Sorry about that once again. Deeply sorry this time around. Honestly, I don't know what NEPA is trying to achieve, but we're going to win. So once again, I'll continue from where I stopped earlier. So I said one of the fastest ways to prepare yourself research-wise before going into a negotiation with a prospect is to extract as many information as much information as from the prospect while you are still at your phone level. Mind you, I always tell you guys, the best way to close deals in real estate is to meet people physically. Calling on the phone will not cut it. Honestly, it will not. It has never, I think it will not. The probability of you meeting your sales goals for the year or for the month only by making calls is very low. Call is important to establish communication, but for you to close, you need to meet people physically. You need to meet people. You need to meet people physically. You need to look at people face to face, eyeball to eyeball. Look at the reactions on their faces. Look at their body language. Why you're asking them, or why they are telling you why they want to do what they want to do. Because you cannot get those reactions over the phone. You cannot. You can only get those reactions when you're sitting across the table with a prospect. So calling a prospect over the phone is nice at the first point of contact. After then, I mean, the next thing is physical appointment. That is where the deals happen, at physical appointments. Or probably you can do a Zoom call so you can see the person, or a WhatsApp video call so you can see the person face to face. So you can be looking at the person's face and the person is seeing your face so that there will be some kind of human to human touch to the conversation or to the deal that you're about to close. Hope that makes sense. So you must First of all, why at the point of calling, you must first of all extract the why question, the what, write this down, the what question, the when question, the where question, the who question, the how question. So number one is why. Why do you want to do what you want? Why do you want to buy into real estate now? Why are you choosing to? Why did you choose? Why did you reach out? Why did you sign up? Why did you fill the form? Number two, what is the motivation behind what you want to do, your investment? You need to ask this open-ended question. You might think you know. You might think when you ask them, they're going to be turned off. No, don't fall for such a lie. Don't fall for such a lie. Don't allow your mind play pranks on you. When you ask those questions, you're not going to turn them off. Rather, you want to. They are going to get. You'll be marveled at the kind of answers you're going to get. So you ask, what is the motivation? When do you plan to exactly, do this, make this move? Are you ready financially now? Yeah. Where is your preferred choice aside the product we have shown you? Do you have any particular location in mind? You know, and the funny thing is you can derive so many questions from this why, what, when. I'm just giving you for examples. I'm just giving you examples. Who is involved in this transaction? How best will you want to approach this investment? So these are some of the questions you need to ask. I call them open-ended questions. These are the fastest way to extract as many information as you can. This is the fastest way of research. Researching your prospect. This is the fastest way of researching your prospect. This is on the spot research. Before this, you should do a little bit of, pre-research before you call. If possible, you can go and search the people online and know who they are and know whether they are married or not. But if you know you cannot do that, then you ask all those questions while you're on call with the prospect. Hope that makes sense. So you need to be research compliant. You need to prioritize research before you can be able to come out victorious or come out profitable from negotiation tables or rooms. You need to be heavily big on research, and you cannot close your mouth or close your eyes and close your ears to information. You must always open yourself to those information. Number two thing you must do to position yourself to be successful at negotiation tables, at deal making, is value proposition. Value proposition simply means, why do people do business with you? Or why should somebody buy product, buy the real estate from you, buy the land from you? Why is the value proposition? Why should I buy this product from you? Why should I buy this land from you? Why should I buy this land at Ishobo from you? That is value proposition, right? So for some of us who have been in business for a while, they have been able to close some deals with some prospect, with some client. The best way to derive your own value proposition is to call those prospects and ask them why they bought from you. In your mind, you might be thinking it's because you know how to speak English, or you are fair, or that you're tall, or probably that you have mastered the art of sales. No, you might baffle you. Then when you reach out to these people to ask them why they bought from you. So the first deal I actually closed last few years when I started my sales journey, why the person bought from me was because of my consistency in follow up, right? I was basically on the person's, matter. Midnight, everywhere I was actually on the person. I was constantly checking up on the person, and that was why the person bought from me, because of my doggedness. Second person, the same thing. So, and I understood that people get much persuaded when I am actually on their matter more. That is my own value proposition. So now that I've gotten to master my own strength in my value proposition, I don't need to double in on it. But for some of you who somebody actually said that why he did his own survey. When he did his own survey with his prospect, his client, he got to understand that why they were buying from him is because they liked him. His personality is very endearing. It's funny, but to him he thinks that probably it's because of the way he speaks, or the way or probably something else. No, it's because he's just a likable person. That was why people were buying from him. So value proposition, yes, there are so many school of thought to it. You need to calm down, go back and do a proper value proposition, create offers. Beautiful. But you need to understand that people that have the greater say in who you or in your value is people that you have sold to. So you need to go back to them and ask them why they bought from you. But for some of you who have not sold yet, you need to keep, applying yourself in several fronts, in so many ways. You understand? Keep doing your thing until the first person buys from you. When that person buys from you, voila, you have something to work with now. You don't need to go back to the person and ask the person truly, innocently, but sir, why did you buy from me? It will baffle you the kind of answer you're going to get, right? So it's better you find out what your value proposition is from your customers. So activity I'll give you guys tonight, for those of you who have been able to close some sales earlier before now, is to ask your clients why they bought from you. That's one. Then for some of you, so even if you have been able to establish to a reasonable extent why people buy from you, right? It doesn't still mean that when you are entering into another person's negotiation room, that you should now close your ears from what that person tags value for him to him or to her. Let me repeat, that you have been able to establish that this is why people buy from you doesn't mean that when you're negotiating your next deal that you just be talking about your own, part of you are actually weighing so into what you think is your own value proposition. No, you need to have a listening ear to understand what this person's unique value, what this person tags valuable is. You understand? So you need to open your ears to this next person. So and that it gives you the room to also, understand exactly what is it this person wants. So, in as much as these people have been able to give you this, you need to also be a very listening business person. You need to listen to, newer deals you want to close or cut. So you need to have a listening ear on the table, basically. So you need to learn how to listen to the client to understand what their value line is. Even though you've been able to establish from the last 5, 10, 20 customers you've sold to, right? You have been able, they have told you that they love, the way you do this or do that. Still, the next person might be uniquely different, so you need to listen to them. So we've talked about research, we've talked about value proposition. The next thing is what, you know, um, high value, negotiators call BATNA. It's an acronym, BATNA, BATNA. So I was doing a research on it, and it was very striking. It was very striking. I've been doing it, but not necessarily knowing that I've been applying the acronym BATNA, BATNA. Write it down. It means best alternative to negotiated agreement. Best alternative to negotiated agreement. So what does that mean? It means that what is your worst case scenario entering this negotiation table? You understand? What is the worst case scenario? What is it that this prospect is going to propose that will get you to stand up and say, this deal is not happening. I'm glad we've gone this far in this negotiation, but at this point, I think I need to take my leave. Every business person in sales must always have their own partner. It varies per industry. Yeah, so for us here in real estate, we should also define what our individual partners are. As a lady, what is your partner? As a dude, what is your partner? As somebody selling this particular product, what is your partner? What is that red line you cannot cross on this deal? So if you've been able to define your partner before you walk into a room, yeah, to negotiate a deal, it gives you that confidence that is actually very much perceivable. They can perceive the confidence you carry into a room because you already before then outlined your red line that you're not going to cross in this negotiation, right? So it gives you this sort of confidence. It gives you this sort of, you've made up your mind, this peace of mind that you're coming into that. It makes you feel more relaxed. It opens you up more. It gives you more open mind. You're not desperate. You're not agitated. You are free. But if you are going into a negotiation with no worst case scenario at the back of your mind, or there's no walk away point, there's no point it will reach, you say, I'm taking my leave. I'm glad this has come to this extent. I mean, if you reconsider my offer, I'll be willing to discuss further. But at this point, I'm thinking if you don't have any of such plans in place, you are going to end up cutting a deal that's going to hurt you more than you're going to earn from. Hope that makes sense. So you must have a partner, a walk away point. Yeah? Because not all deals are good. There are deals that you're going to close that at the end of the day, it's going to hurt you more often than you are going to gain from it. So you need to understand what your partner is. Beautiful. And you have to be honest and don't exaggerate at that point. You have to be very honest. Yeah, you have to be very honest at that point. I'm trying to summarize as much as I could while delivering enough value and as much value as I could too. The number fourth point that you must take note of if you must come out from any negotiation room successful is understanding your anchoring point or your reference point as a negotiator, as a business person. Yes. What is an anchoring point? An anchoring point is that point that you propose is that amount of um, the first amount you're going to call to the prospect on the negotiation table. That's your anchoring point. The first amount of money that's going to come out from your mouth at the point of negotiation is your anchoring point. You have to be very careful of the amount you're going to call first on the negotiation table. Very, very important. That is your reference point. Any amount you call first will subconsciously become the reference point in the prospect's mind. So any negotiation coming up that day, the prospect is their mind is fixed on that first amount you called. So I said here, don't start from the lowest amount. That's the lowest point. So many of us enter into negotiation table without knowing, and we begin to call the 12 months payment plan. We begin to talk about the 6 months payment plan. We begin to talk about initial deposit. We begin to talk about some even go as far as talking about concessions. That is you are shooting yourself on the foot by yourself. In fact, you are nailing yourself by yourself. That is anchoring. Is a key element in negotiation. Don't be too quick to call the cheapest amount on the table. No, don't be too quick. In fact, it is recommended that you start from the biggest amount, so that let them begin their negotiation from there. Let that be their reference point of consideration for you. So if you're going to do any form of trade-off, concessions, or anything, or considerations, it will be from that particular amount you mentioned first. Hope that makes sense. So, and also before you can even be able to know the amount you're going to call first, is until you have deciphered your client's economic condition via the course you've made earlier, or via the conversations that have led to this point where you need to call out the amount. It is by the conversations you've had with the client that will determine, the amount that you're going to propose first. But by all means, don't start from the lowest. Don't, because they are still going to negotiate it down. Right? So don't propose payment plans first. Don't propose installments. Don't propose 12 months payment plan. Hit it on the head. But first of all, you must have created enough value. You must have created enough value before the point of the mentioning the amount, so that the person doesn't feel like you're trying to rip him off. Hope that makes sense. So all I'm saying here tonight is for you to go and do your further research on them and understand how this aligns with your own daily sales activities and your negotiation activities. You need to understand that anchoring or reference point is highly psychological. It is not logical, it's highly psychological. Right? So if you come to sell to me a product of, let's say, 5 million, and the first thing you told, I knew, in fact, from the flyers, I saw 5 million, and you're coming to me and you're telling me, you have not even been able to decipher my economic condition. You have not asked me open any place. I have not told you anything. And you now come and tell me, sir, even if you don't have the 5 million, we still have this. I have not said anything, basically. Then you're not a master negotiator. You need to correct yourself from tonight. It is not the right way to go about anchoring your price, anchoring your reference point. Hope that makes sense. So I think we are almost done here. So the last but not the least, there are so many points to note. I mean, you need to go back. That's why research, personal research is important. There are so many things you're already doing that you don't know you're already doing. But when you do research and learn, it broadens your mind. You begin to see that really this is what I've been doing right, or this is not what I need to better myself on. You cannot, you cannot do life by being, you, you being daft doesn't help you. You need to go back and do further research on things. That's how you become valuable. That's how you become better at what you're doing. So the last point you need to master before you enter into any negotiation room is mastering concessions. That statement concessions, it has made many people lose out in so many things at negotiation rooms. Many people have given away their life in concessions. Many people have given away their wealth through concessions. Many people have given up in sales because of concessions. I know what I'm telling you. Just in the quest to make sure they close this deal, they are flippant with their words. They are giving concessions left, right, and center. Some people even go as as giving concession before reaching out the company selling the product. Is bad. Instead of concession simply means what are you willing to give away to make a certain product appealing to a prospect. What are you willing to give? For example, if you are selling this particular water flask for, let's say, 5,000, because you just want to sell it, by all means you are now knocking off 1,000 naira from it so that it become cheaper for the prospect. But deep down in you, you know that you are going home with almost nothing. But just because you want to make this sale and let it leave your hand, you are just going to, no, 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 it's not good. Rather, it is preferably for you to go. I will do a little bit more on trade to go with this one. I want to say that it's better you go with trade-offs. Trade-offs. TRADE hyphen OFFS. Trade-offs. Trade-offs are non-principled concessions. Non-principled concession. And what are trade-offs? Trade-off is this. If I'm going to remove 1,000 from you, what are you going to give me in return? If this product is 1.5 million, for example, our Amazon estate at Ishokbo selling for 1.5 million, if it's going for 1.5 million per plot currently, and you say I should give you at 1.3, that 200,000 that I'm removing for you, what are you going to give me in return? That is what trade-off is. Many of you are scared to ask for that. Many of you are not willing to ask for that. So that's what a trade-off is. Hope that makes sense. So trade-off is, so I'm giving you, I will go and negotiate on your behalf with the company for this product, but you are, because I'm going to knock off 200,000 from this amount, you are going to buy at least 2 or 3 plots, or you are going to refer me here and now to 3 of your friends. This is what a trade-off is. Don't ever give a concession at the, being at the losing end of that transaction. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. When you are giving a concession to a prospect, give a concession from the place of the prospect is giving you something in return. Instead, the prospect is going to give you access to their company staff for you to go and speak to their company staff, or the prospect will give you access to their union if they have any union at all he belongs to, any trade union at all, or they give you access to his group of friends. There must be something on the line. You must make it clear at the point of negotiation. Because at the end of the day, you need to let the client know that this concession you're giving out, you are giving out every little gain you're going to make from that transaction is gone. So they need to feel indebted to you. They need to give you access to more things that will help you. So that's what a trade-off is. So swap concession for trade-offs. You understand? Instead of going all with concession, no, begin to apply trade-offs to your negotiation tables. That's going to help you earn more and close more deals, right? Because at the end of the day, the person that must have given you the trade-off, probably the client, okay, agree that, okay, if you're going to give me 200,000 naira discount, I'm going to give you access to this, and right, and then the person gives you access to this. At the end of the day, the person might not even buy from you, but the person has given you access. The person has bought two or three or more plots. That's a win for you. And it will be a very foolish thing for a company that for you to get that kind of deal into a company, and the company will be happy. I'm not saying that you should go out there and start seeking for consent, but I'm saying if at the end of the the negotiation table, it all falls down to the last part where there's need to be concession, then fine. Make sure it's a trade-off. Don't leave it just at concession. Make sure it's a trade-off, right? So that brings us to the end of our training tonight, our Billions Corner Weekly. I tried so hard to keep it within time. I didn't want to stress us further. So, but first of all, I'd like to apologize for the incessant power outages that happen within today's training. It is never going to happen again. So sorry about that. I mean, we are living in Nigeria, obviously, so these kind of things are bound to happen. Secondly, I would like to thank every one of you that tuned in tonight to watch and to listen to what I'm about, what I trained on tonight, the art of cutting deals, art of becoming an insane deal maker. That is where every real estate consultant that's listening to me tonight or going to watch this video later have to find themselves in. Go back to your note and go back to this video and rewatch it 2 or 3 more times. And don't forget to also share it to your downlines. Share the link to your downline group. Let them go and watch and learn something that was going to help them, because we are in the business of cutting deals. And if you don't understand these fundamentals, you will keep running in circles thinking you know what you're doing. That's what organized learning helps you to do. It helps to organize your mindset so you can know that after A is B, after B is C. If you don't open yourself up to this kind of trainings, organized trainings, you keep doing, you keep putting your hands here and there and keep doing guesswork, and that's going to burn you out. That's going to waste your time. So please go back to this video, right, and rewatch it 2 or 3 times again to understand deeper and better what I just talked about tonight. So I reminded us earlier about who we are as realtors. I explained to us what high value deals and high ticket products are. Then I went into the points that you need to, master for you to become a great deal maker. I talked about being big on research. I talked about value proposition. I talked about BATNA, which is best alternative to negotiated agreements. I talked about anchoring and reference point, and I concluded with concessions and trade-offs. I hope it was valuable. I hope you learned something new that's going to help you in your business of selling real estate. I'm hopeful that those who tune in tonight and those who are going to watch this video are going to come out better than they were. Thank you once again for joining us tonight. But before you go, I would like to remind us, every realtor watching this video, that our Realtor store is happening next week Friday. Our Realtor store simply is where we take our winner associate, all our realtors, to go show them our products here in Port Harcourt City, in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Our great locations, our amazing products. We take them to go and show them what we have on ground. And they take videos and take pictures and familiarize themselves with the roads, with the directions and everything, so that when you are actually at the negotiation table, you won't be sounding aloof and sounding confused. Yeah, because most of these prospects actually know these areas you talked about. So when you come there and ask questions on the ground and get answers to those questions, you equip yourself more, you arm yourself with more knowledge and more tools that you can use to fight better in the marketplace. So make sure you join us, you know, um, next week, Friday. Is it Friday or Thursday? Please, can somebody confirm that for me, please? Thursday. Okay, next week Thursday. Next week Thursday is basically 21st. That's a week from today. Next week Thursday is 21st of November 2024. So every realtor watching me tonight or going to watch this video, please, a link to our WhatsApp, a number will be dropped on the comment section of this video, which is the number is for our winner associate coordinator. So copy that number and chat it or call the person up on WhatsApp or not on your call, and the person her name is Mrs. Gift. She's going to walk you through on how to be part of that amazing retail store next week Thursday. And not forgetting that also our newest product launch, which is our Amazon estate close to Ishiopo, is currently selling out fast. Just few plots remaining at 1.5 million before it goes back to 3 million. And also, there's a big news. Wingate University that is very close to this Amazon estate did their first matriculation today. So today was their matriculation ceremony. I wasn't there. I tried so hard to be there, but I wasn't able to be there. I'll try to extract some pictures from that particular ceremony and post it on the WhatsApp group. It was an amazing scenario. I've seen some videos from there. Amazing stuff. So what that means is that those of your prospect and your clients who are buying product at this shop now are burying their money into gold mine. They are doing an amazing investment for their future and for themselves, for their kids, for their lives. So a lot of things are happening at this shop currently. So come on Thursday and come and see it for yourself, and of course, and begin to build a beautiful life for yourself selling real estate. Remember, sellers are winners. People that sell stuff are always never going to be broke. They're always going to be at a point where they are seeing, great stuff right before them. So make sure you are always selling, and make sure you're selling something that's worth it. Sell real estate. Sell it the Win Realty way. Thank you and have a wonderful night rest, and God bless you.